Hey, what's up, everyone? We're back with another episode of Sundown Podcasts. Each and every podcast, we go around the table, discuss topics of interest from each individual. No topic is off limits. I'm your host, Aman Singh. Joining me today at the table is the Russian standard Nick Stewart.
Oh, hello.
Our very own homegrown Kenyan Akash Kotecha.
Hello.
And we have a guest today, the man that I go to for all things science, my good friend Kevin.
All right.
Okay, so the first topic that I wanted to discuss is time travel. Kevin, you know more about this than I do when it comes to science. I'm an idiot. So just explain, how does it work? You can't go back, but you can go forward, right?
Well, you can. Time is like an elastic rubber band,
Okay.
so you can stretch it or squeeze it. But when you place your body in time, you can't. The people who are not with you in that time dimension go at different speeds. So technically, you would be time traveling because the people around you.
Okay, well, Akash, you were saying before, you told me this before, that they sent a photon into the future?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they use a Hadron Collider, right? If
Yeah.
I'm not wrong. They use a Hadron Collider to send a single photon, right? And it's a huge machine, and all they could manage to send is a single photon. And I just recently read an article of how they could actually make it possible, and they'd have to make like a super massive Hadron Collider, send it out in space, attach it to some different gravity fields, and it's a huge process. So, yes,
how many
time
seconds can you go, or how many seconds?
I don't know.
You can-
Like
you
the
can travel
longest
to different
person
galaxies.
who time traveled was like only a few seconds after spending, I don't know, God knows how long in outer space.
Okay, so let's say that like they sent that photon into the future, right? And let's say it went like 2 seconds in the future. So you have to go like 1, 2, and then it'll show up.
Not really.
So then where does it go then? Like if it's going to, is it a different future, or is it
just-
our future, or what's happening? If it's,
You can still see it.
okay.
It works more like this. Like the people in IS, the International Space Station right now.
Mm-hmm.
If they stay there longer, I think there's a lady up there from Russia who's there for 1 year now. And
Do you know her,
when she
Nick?
comes back,
Yes.
when she comes back, she will be 2 minutes ahead.
2 minutes ahead? I
Her,
think,
her
She'll be
her,
2 minutes younger.
younger, yeah.
Yeah, then she
Well,
would have
but-
originally been if she
does that mean that you're
stayed
2
in
minutes
Earth.
behind then?
No. Like the GPS satellites need to be corrected by people who own the satellites every year for 2 seconds.
Because gravity affects time, right?
No.
So that's how it is, right?
No, gravity and time are like two physical phenomenon. Not like two physical concepts that work in the same way.
But
Sort of like
isn't
how-
it gravity that affects how fast time goes by?
No, like you know how the moon has a different gravity.
Yeah.
So the same
Yeah, so
way.
because there's less gravity, time goes
yeah.
by a little bit slower.
Slower, yeah.
So you
You can-
age less then.
What?
You don't really age less. It's just
No, because the
not
body,
as much time is actually going by.
yeah, like our body has telomeres in the chromosomes that are designed to run on the clock cycle of the Earth.
Okay.
So if you move to Saturn,
Uh-huh.
where time goes by slower, your body will still be to
Earth's clock.
yeah.
But
'Cause you
time will be
can't-
going by slower.
Time will be going by slower for you.
So if there was like an extreme,
But doesn't that
and
still
you-
affect your body then? If time's going by slower for you, doesn't that mean that you're aging less?
No, but times are variable.
you're just
No.
not you're aging at the same rate,
Right.
but time is just there's less time going on.
Okay, no, I think I see
Like,
what you're saying.
If there's an hour that goes by here, it might be like half an hour somewhere far.
Let's just say,
away.
so let's say you go to a planet and like
Yeah.
it's slower over there and an hour goes by. And on Earth, on Earth, it's like 10 years go by. Hypothetical here, right?
Right.
So does that mean that on that other planet where an hour only goes by, you're going to age 10 years worth? So if you're 40, you'll be 50 then? Because your
do you
body's
mean?
still going to age on Earth's clock, right?
Yeah, right.
So you'll still be 50. You'll be 50 years old then.
Well, it's not. You'll still be.
You'll be
the same age. When you go
Yeah.
back.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So if I'm 40 and I go there,
No, because like right now, like we define one day as the amount of time it takes the Earth to rotate around the sun.
right.
So like a planet like Mars would be much shorter, right? Because it's
Right.
closer to the sun. So that way, if I go to Mars and my day is like 21 hours, for example,
Uh-huh.
and I come back, like my chromosomes and everything, my cells do not know where I went. So it will still be dividing and
like
Shortening.
if Kevin left
yeah.
Right.
and it was 20 years and he came back, he might be like a year younger than us.
Technically, yeah.
Would he look? Yeah, he might be.
I would not look anything.
He would.
Yeah, I
he
would
would
have
have
the same.
looked like he.
just
Never
left or whatever.
Yeah.
Never left.
Oh, you look like you never left. So you would.
No, because like right now, like
He
my-
would look like if he left and he was supposed to be 30, but he was 27 when he came back.
Yeah.
He would look 27.
So you would look the age that you would have been if you were on Earth.
No.
maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. But what I know from a biological perspective is that your cells, every time they divide, they shorten because of telomeres at the ends of chromosomes,
Okay.
and these are the ones that are the reason why we die.
Mhm.
So if you go to a different planet and then you come back, that doesn't mean that your cells stop dividing.
Is this all
Yeah.
theory? Because no one's ever actually lived on these planets to prove this, right?
No, but the people who go to the
space
International
station?
Space Station, yeah,
Right.
they're subject to all these kind of different things because they do not experience the same gravity as we do.
I remember hearing this one podcast. There was this guy who went up to the station, and when he came down, because he goes up there, I don't know, like 9 months at a time.
Yeah.
And he comes down, and he's like, your whole body just
Yeah, it has to change.
it can't adjust immediately. He goes, when you stand up, you just faint.
Yeah.
And your
Makes sense.
bones have to readjust and everything like that. So I'd figure if your body's adjusting to that climate or that environment,
Yeah.
then when you go to another planet, it would also adapt to that.
No, it takes millions of years to adapt, I think. Because like plants, for example, they have to develop vascular and xylem and phloem cells just to be able to grow on land.
Mm-hmm.
And then that give rise to humans and everything else because we can sustain on plant as an energy source. But for humans, it'll take millions of years to adapt to different plants.
And there's no way to do it too, because
So-
you can't like show up and
No, you can't.
evolve.
I'm trying to find
We're
that
gonna have,
article
like,
that said
sex.
how you could really build a time machine,
like
and
forward and back or just
the-
forward?
forward or backwards, I think.
We can go back.
So no, well, see, here's an article I have on the Daily Mail open on my phone right now, and this is a quote from Stephen Hawking. It says, "All you need for a time machine is a wormhole, the Large Hadron Collider, or a rocket that goes really, really fast."
That's all. That's it. You just
Yeah.
go to your local hardware
And then
store.
he says, so through the wormhole, he says, and there's a quote is like, through the wormhole, the scientist can see himself as he was a minute ago.
Yeah.
And then it gets a little
But the
confusing. It gets a
wormhole-
little confusing in the rest of the quote. It says, but what if our scientist uses the wormhole to shoot his earlier self, is now dead, so who fired the shot?
No, a wormhole.
I think your Stephen
fast
Hawking
rocket.
impersonation is a little off.
No, wait.
No.
A wormhole was a fast rocket, and what was the third thing?
A hadron collider.
No, a
Those three
wormhole,
things.
the Large Hadron Collider, or a rocket that
Yeah,
goes really,
these three
really
things
Or
have
so you
one thing
need
in
one,
common.
one of the three, or
Either one.
No, so wormhole is necessary,
okay.
and then it's either the Large Hadron Collider or a
Wormhole
rocket
is-
that goes really, really fast.
How are those two comparable?
The Hadron Collider just moves particles
It's
really
particle
fast.
accelerator.
So by particle, it would mean you then, right?
Yeah, or
Whatever's
or a
inside
rocket
of
that
it.
could propel you into
yeah.
a
So
wormhole.
we
But
just
it-
need that speed. So the Hadron Collider could accelerate, right, particles, or a rocket that goes really, really
So
fast.
does that mean that the wormhole is pushing you back then? Is
no,
that what you
wormhole
like
is just. It's not even. Doesn't even exist.
It
It's
says
on paper.
here, a wormhole is a theoretical tunnel or
Yeah.
shortcut predicted by
bends
Einstein's
space and time.
theory of relativity.
But you
that
were saying it
means-
has to be
yeah.
created. It
A
can't
wormhole needs to
exist
be
on its
placed
own.
by someone. It cannot exist. Like a black hole exists.
It
There's
can be
one
natural. It can
Yeah,
naturally
so
be
So it's
created.
physically possible, but it can't.
It's a
not
theoretical.
there.
You can prove it by
Yeah.
differential equations, but you can never,
Make
ever
one.
find one just
Yeah.
magically. It needs to be.
So someone has to put one there,
You have
or
to know.
something, or
The
whatever.
only way to create a wormhole is to physically bend space and time,
Okay.
like our universe, and then the point where the two ends connect is a wormhole, and then humans can travel through that to go to different.
So
But then-
sort of like if you take a pipe and then you bend and make the two ends meet, you skip the
No.
whole middle part and you can go
But
from
the
one
universe is
end to
not
the other.
right though.
Yeah, well,
It's a
like
disk.
So then, but in that scenario, you're only just you're going faster, really. Isn't that what it is?
You're going further away from the Earth.
Right. But you're because from what it sounds like with this wormhole is that when you go through it, if you're bending space around you,
You're
that's what it
just
is.
skipping a bunch.
You're skipping
Yeah,
a bunch, which
you
means that
are,
you're
yeah.
going. You're technically going faster then. If you
Yeah,
skip
you are.
things, you're going
Technically
faster.
you
Yeah, you are.
So that means that wormholes are only available to go into the future then?
No. They go to a different place where time runs differently for because our
Because that
time.
whole links back to the
Yeah.
whole gravity on Earth.
But couldn't you
Yeah.
then technically have like a wormhole that goes from Earth to Mars and just skip the space in between?
Yeah, you could.
You could,
That's the whole
Yeah,
point.
you can never like people think that time travel is like, oh, I'll go to the future and buy, or I'll go to the past and buy some stocks and then we'll come to the present and wait for it to explode or something. But that doesn't work that way because when you go back and when you go forward in time, you go to different reality.
So it's not even the same. Is it not the same universe, or are you in the same universe?
No, well, you can't be in the same universe because you left the universe to go to a different place where time runs slower or even faster. So
But
you
if you're
come back.
within, okay,
Yeah.
so
You can't change things by time travel. You can change the way.
so the way that the media and movies and everything portrays time travel as you go, like I'm going to go to
No,
2020.
Like Back to the
impossible.
Future, for
That's
example.
Yeah,
all.
like
Yeah.
it's like Back to the Future. So
Drive a car really fast.
Yeah, like,
well, no, like forget that. Just the fact that he's going into his own future and his
Yeah.
own past, like that's not possible. Is
No.
what you're saying?
no. The closest thing like to time travel or anything was, what was the movie?
Interstellar.
Interstellar. Yeah, but
So you
But that
come
will-
back and you're just the same age, but other
yeah, like you know
people
how
are
he comes
older.
back and
Yeah.
he's young, but his daughter's like almost dying.
Spoilers if you haven't seen this
Yeah.
movie.
Shame on you haven't seen it.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I saw that, and
Yeah, so
then-
that's as realistic as it gets. Nothing like Back to the Future.
So in the movie,
Well-
speaking of that movie, when he goes on that planet and he goes like, when you're down there for half an hour or an hour,
Yeah,
or 7
time
years goes by,
Yeah.
and he gets stuck down there for like 3 hours, and it's
Yeah,
like,
so
oh, 21
24.
years went by. Is that a reality, or was that
That
just
is
all
a
science
reality.
That
fiction?
is true.
That's
That
what
is
it
true. I think
But
I
they,
read an
they
article
went
that
through
said
these things to buy
most of the things in that movie, like 90% of the science, was all true science.
except for wormholes, because they didn't.
Wormholes is theoretical.
That's all-
No, I don't think most of that movie was
No,
like,
like
when they go
most
to
of the
black
stuff.
hole and it's like a thing.
No. Most of the stuff in that movie was true science. The way they like show it and explain it.
Didn't he get sucked
Yeah,
into
and
like a
actually-
black hole and he could see himself in the past?
No,
that
like
was-
'cause
that's different.
there was a website that had it was a reputable website, and they had about 10 different videos.
I think the only real
Okay.
science of it was the time travel part. Like
No, they had
everything else,
about
like spaceships
no
and
wormholes
everything.
and black holes and everything. Like they had about 10 different videos explaining into detail. Like each video was about 15 minutes long, explaining into detail how the science which this like behind each and everything in that movie worked. Obviously, some of the shit's bullshit, like communicating to his daughter, with the watch and stuff. That's not
Yeah.
real. But most of the science aspect of stuff, how stuff worked there, was true.
Same thing with their like communications where they could receive but they couldn't send shit back, right? That's probably not. Is that real? Was that real too? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember
How he
that.
could get like videos from his kids and stuff like that. And his kids
Yeah.
were like way older, but they're like,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can't send anything back.
I think they couldn't send anything back because they didn't have any signal
Oh, okay. Like, they don't you need a signal to receive?
to receive. I don't know. Yeah, I never really paid attention. to that.
I'm just saying, I don't think that movie was entirely very.
No, obviously not entirely.
I think they use a
but
physicist
most of the
as,
science in there.
They had a physicist on board.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
Christopher Nolan doesn't walk around.
Yeah.
That's his movie, right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
But since we're talking,
That's the guy who did Batman.
Yeah. He did.
I
I just watched the first Batman. for the
Inception
first
too, right?
time.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was nice.
I don't like Batman.
Batman Begins.
Yeah. I was.
Oh, was it on 32?
Huh?
On channel 32?
No, I
We don't
downloaded it.
What's not there to like?
I don't know. It's just like he doesn't kill anybody.
That's that. No superhero kills. That's like the first rule of being a superhero.
I'll-
Although in this new one, there's if you guys have seen the video, right? The trailer.
Suicide Squad
No,
or
trailer
the
for
Batman
Batman
vs
Superman.
Superman.
There's a scene in there. What everyone's commenting online is, do you see him? He's like in the desert and he's in a trench
Yeah.
coat, and there's these guys with these Superman patches like shooting and attacking him. He snaps a guy's neck in there. That's what everyone's saying. I don't know. He did it. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. But yeah. So
And the voice just seems ridiculous to me.
that okay. First of all,
I mean, if they like altered it a little bit, it could be like badass, right?
No, but
it's like
it's a robotic voice because he can't fight Superman on his own, and that.
no, I don't. I mean
suit-
like the Christian Bale one.
Oh, that's just to hide who he is. That makes sense. Do you
Yeah,
know
but
how many?
it's just-
Do you know how many current TV shows that have superheroes on them mimic that? What Christian Bale did. So many have done that now. Now they've all altered their voice, so it makes sense. It's what Christopher Nolan did in that movie was he tried to make the most realistic version of Batman. That's why Bane in the third movie wasn't on Venom steroids.
Yeah, he was just like
He was just like this dude
Medicine
who
or
had
something.
like a asthma mask.
Hmm.
That was pretty much it, right? He tried to make it as realistic as possible. Same thing with Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent had half his face burnt off, but in the comics, from my understanding, is it was like he had acid got poured on it, and then
Yeah.
his face it got discolored and everything like that. It wasn't. His hair went white. And this one, it was a little bit more realistic. But anyways, that was that went off on a tangent.
sidebar. Science to Batman.
No, I actually I read an interesting article about black holes, I don't really have the knowledge
Don't be
to
racist.
connect to connect black holes with time travel, but it's a black hole is just like dense mass,
mass, yeah.
really
It
dense
absorbs
mass.
light, right?
Anything.
Yeah, so it's so dense that
You
pretty much
can't go
gravity
into
col-
it like in the movie.
Yeah, you
like,
can't
you
go
will
into
just
it.
be crushed.
He would have been
But-
crushed. Yeah, I'm like, how is he not
You'd
dead?
be
But-
crushed like miles out.
Oh yeah.
So they said that if it's so dense that if you wanted Earth to be a black hole, you'd have to compress it, condense like the mass of the Earth into the size of a peanut. Then it
Yeah.
would be a black hole. So putting that into perspective, we have black holes that are the size of, forget the sun, the biggest one that I've discovered so far is 1 billion times the size of the sun.
So do not forget the sun.
So not that big. Just kidding.
Yeah, so if Earth would be a peanut as a black hole, we have black holes that are like 1 billion times the size
So,
of the
but-
sun.
How are black holes created? Is it like when a sun dies? Or
I think when
is it,
something collapses, it just
Gravity
sucks it.
collapsing within itself.
but it would have to be so intense
Yeah.
It would
to
be.
create like a black hole. Okay, well, that cleared up.
Any
a little
questions?
bit. Any
So if you
questions?
wake up tomorrow and the Earth's a peanut, well,
We would all be that.
yeah.
Another topic is we have two people here who are from, you know what, I won't even get into the specific details, but your experiences coming from another country coming from one country going to another. So if you're Canadian, how is your perspective going to another country? Or, you know, like for example, if you're an American, what's the, some people shit on you when you go to other countries, right? And that's their perspective of what Americans are like. You know, Canadians, for example, when I was out in Las Vegas, I was talking to this one guy, and I was just having a regular conversation with him, and he says, "Oh, so where are you from?" And I said, I was going to say Calgary or Alberta because I didn't want to insult their educational system of geography. So I'm like, Canada, and he goes, "Oh, so that's why you guys are so polite." However, flip side, going to India, talking to people, some of them have perceptions of Canadians as Americans. So there's always that flip. Some of them are good stereotypes, like you're very polite. Other ones are like, where are you getting this from?
See,
And we have our own, perceptions of other
I think the
things, but-
deal with India is that they don't look at people generally as Canadians, Americans, or
They say foreign.
British.
like
It's
Westerners.
just foreigners, Westerners. Yeah.
Right.
So they categorize all people from these like
I don't think
developed parts of
anyone
the
cares
world.
what India thinks of anyone else.
Yeah, no, but you know,
It's a
I
patriarchal.
was in India in December,
society.
and honestly, some of the I've been to 3 countries in Africa, and India still was the worst considered out of all the 3 countries that I've been in Africa when it comes to manners and how the people are over there. I mean,
See,
I was
yeah.
shocked. Like I thought it wouldn't be any much of a different experience from being in Kenya. Like in Kenya or Uganda or Tanzania, that's where I've been to. Like the people over there, they're generally nice to you. Sure, like some of them get annoying and all, but
Probably not
people.
facing 1.3 billion people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
when I was in India, I was just like, whoa, this was unexpected. Like people cutting you off in line, no personal space, talking about you right in front of you, and it was
Staring
just-
down at you.
You talk
yeah,
shit, get
staring
shot.
down at they like to stare you down, and it was a whole different experience. And I
Yeah.
thought, third world countries, everyone's the same, but I mean, I can't blame them. To them, all that shit's normal.
They've never experienced anything outside of that.
Yeah, like to them, it's normal.
But speaking, you guys, okay, coming from Kenya, coming to here to Canada or going to the U.S. or even going to India, what are their perceptions of people who come from that country? What do they think of it, and what did you guys think of it?
Well, if you go to Kenya, the people over there, first of all, everyone thinks that you're rich.
If you come from,
If you're coming from like a Western country,
okay,
If you're
like,
not
they
Kenyan.
think you have money.
Yeah, if you're not.
They think you
If
have
you're
money.
not Kenyan, you're rich.
Pretty much, they think you have money, right? They think you're rich. Same with India, they think you're rich. So it's just like, yeah, that's the first thing that everyone will think that you're rich. Secondly,
how are perceptions of like behavior, attitude, politeness? That type of
Everyone
thing?
thinks Canadians are polite, but it's getting ruined now. Like,
they
so
do
all
think
the,
they do think you're polite, but they feel
People.
like you have really
What's-
high standards. They feel like you have really high standards. So if I was to go to Kenya,
Speaking of,
they would
of,
switch stuff around to try and accommodate my needs over there.
How
They'll
about-
think, oh, so and so's from Canada. They're not gonna like to drink. They're not gonna want to drink water from this kind of glass. We need to buy like a glass, like like a water.
They're probably
glass
thinking that they're used to a higher level.
Yeah,
like
so
a
they
higher
think we
standard
have
of living.
higher standards. So
Right.
So yeah, to sum it up, I just think that people in third world countries generally feel that Westerners do have higher standards. They perceive you to have a better lifestyle. They perceive you to be wealthier, and it's not really like that. And same with anywhere in Kenya you go, people look up to you in a way.
Well, let's do the flip side. What about coming from third world type countries here? The perceptions of people in first world countries of them.
So, to be honest, when I first came to Canada, it was a little bit of a nervous feeling that you have because you don't really know what people are like over here. You don't know what is acceptable, what's not acceptable.
Did the media at all help? Like
Yeah,
what you grew
so-
up watching on TV and
So
stuff?
generally, I found myself to be really quiet, but I think Canada did live up to its reputation of being friendly and nice. People can tell that you're not from here, and generally, it will be nice to you, which actually helped me get more comfortable, helped me speak, and so yeah, I think Canada did live up to its reputation of being nice. And then from Canada, when I went to the U.S., they lived up to their stereotypes as well. Yeah, everyone knows all the stereotypes for Americans. I mean, sure, you see obesity
Well,
everywhere.
when Nick and I went
Sure,
to
you see idiots everywhere. I mean, yeah, it's America, but they live up to what people perceive them to be.
Well, when Nick and I went to Montana, we were sitting in Walmart, and we were behind this couple who had an entire conversation about how Walmart should be a campsite.
Yeah,
Have
it should be
yeah,
campsite on the parking lot, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean a campsite?
Like you
They
should
thought
be
that
allowed
it would
to
be
camp.
so convenient because they spend so much time at Walmart. They should just have a place that you can live outside of
Yeah,
Walmart.
exactly.
Like
That was their
like
idea.
that's your resident. You live outside.
Yeah,
of
Yeah,
Walmart?
like
But where do you
they
live?
want to be able to stay outside of the Walmart that they shop.
When
It's very sad.
if you go to McDonald's over here and you order a Big Mac meal, that should fill like the average person up. In the U.S., you actually get combos on their menu
Like the guy
where
with,
you can actually get 2 Big Macs with a fries and a drink. And not to forget their drink sizes. What we have as a large over here in Canada is
It's a
considered a
small.
medium over there. Yeah. So
And
they have like a 2 McChicken combo or a 2 Big Mac combo where you get 2 burgers, fries, and a drink.
In my experience going down to the States,
They
I
take their
haven't-
McDonald's seriously. Honestly, I went and I asked the guy over there for a McChicken meal, and he got angry at me. He was like, "Combo, it's a combo." They take it. I'm not shitting you. This was
well, there's
like,
a reason why there's
this is serious.
stereotypes.
This guy was serious. He's like, if you want with fries and drink, you say combo. Like, sorry.
And these are the people who
There's you living
denied
up to your
free healthcare.
stereotype.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Well, the thing is, when I went down to the States, I mean, I haven't had the, I don't want to call it a luxury. I have not had the pleasure of talking to a whole lot of Americans. I remember when I was down in Dallas,
In Texas.
down in Texas. You know, there's certain stereotypes about the South in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, I found people to be generally friendly. However, I did not talk
Even
to
though
a
you're
lot
of color.
Well, they were. This is what I'm getting to, right? I didn't really find myself talking to a lot of white people. I did find myself talking to a lot of black people. They were pretty friendly. However, one thing I noticed about the U.S. when I'm talking to them and they ask you where you're from, because you don't have that southern accent, they might think you're from, I don't know, somewhere up north in the U.S. You tell them you're from Canada, they know where Canada is. But in terms of anything else, regionally, where you
Right.
look,
Oh,
they're out to lunch.
I know
on
that.
Well, it's
The amount of
from
people that
When we
ask
went,
me where I'm from,
Calgary.
Calgary, they're like, where's that? Yeah.
Alberta.
I think when you
Toronto.
Do you
when
remember?
it comes to Canada, the most widely recognized places
Toronto.
are Toronto and Vancouver. Actually, when I
I don't
was
even know anyone
when
in
I was
Vancouver.
in Kenya with Nick, I told him that here we'll do a test. We're gonna go around. We'll ask like 3 or 4 random people saying, "Hey, what do you think is the capital of Canada?" Everyone's like Toronto.
That actually happened when I was
Because
in
it's the
high
only
school.
city
Yeah,
they
it's the
know.
only place they
A
know.
lot of people thought it was
Yeah.
Toronto, yeah. That it happens because what's really Toronto is big in terms of sports too, right? They have the only
Raptors and Maple Leafs.
the
and Blue
Raptors.
Jays.
Yeah, they have. I don't know. Is there a
Blue
baseball
Jays.
team in no in Montreal?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay, but anyways, Toronto's kind of like our core center. I know Ottawa's our capital, but the States, we're forced to learn about their history.
Yeah.
in the States, they don't. I don't even know if they can name all the 50 states.
I think it's probably a history question.
Do they know that there are 50 states?
They're so full of themselves, they must know.
Well, yeah,
we're not
'cause
hating
it's like
on Americans. I
No, no,
mean,
no.
it's just great people. Not from the way that we've been talking, but
It's not their
Um,
fault. They're taught like America's like the place to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, no,
it's kind of
I
like
mean-
Europe,
But they
that's over
did
there.
deny free healthcare. I
It's
mean,
sort of like when they're young, they're like, if you don't, you're allowed to have a gun. That's what freedom is. So when they grow up, they want a fucking gun because, or else they won't feel the freedom.
well, having a gun and shooting is two different
Billy,
things.
that's part of our constitutional
At least
rights.
they're nice to us. That's a good thing.
Yeah, Americans
Yeah,
don't
I've-
hate
I've
Canadians.
never had.
Yeah.
If anything, they think we're a little bit pushy.
Well,
They say,
except
he's
for,
so nice, He's just a pusher.
Well, when we go to the
you
US,
guys just polar bears.
So we're like walking through the stores, like, oh, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
They look at you.
They know
kinda-
it's
I've been
true.
like, God, they've looked at me weird. Like, you don't
Right.
need to apologize. And I'm like, it's just a reflex.
It is. You
know-
bump into someone, you're like, sorry. You like, they like knock over your drink. Oh, sorry. Like everything is
But when-
sorry.
Sorry, you want a donut?
Yeah.
When I kind of went to Montana and there was an accident on the highway, right? And so it was a big traffic jam.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got through it, and then we went to a store, and the clerk at the store, she's like, "Do you guys see the accident?" We're like, "Yeah." And then she has the nerve to say, "Oh, probably Albertans
Yeah.
driving down and causing accidents around my free happy
liquor store,
yeah,
liquor store,
town, yeah.
casino town.
Jesus Christ, like lady."
Like you drive through, it's just like a shack with like
Yeah, yeah,
some guy wrote casino with like the S backwards with a Sharpie on a
Speaking
panel.
of casinos, like, the U.S., gambling is not permitted except for in Atlantic City and Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That can't be true because those were all casinos and they were
Every house in
publicly-
Montana is either for sale or is a casino.
Well,
Or a
remember,
liquor
it's
store.
not
Or liquor
legal
store.
everywhere like it is.
But they
here
do have some
in
good
Canada, right?
candy.
And I remember thinking, like, oh, Las Vegas, it's such a big deal, the
Yeah.
way it's portrayed and everything like that. And then I got into the casino, I'm like, it's exactly the same type of shit when you go to Cowboys, you got the same, everything's the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except it's
Right.
bigger.
It is bigger.
It's bigger, and then there's
People are
50
bigger.
of them.
Because people are more willing to lose their money in Las Vegas.
No,
than-
I think it's just like
Cock
the
ring.
whole
And
people.
richer.
I think Las Vegas is hyped up for the whole letting loose part, where you can smoke indoors, you can drink
Drink
out on the
outside,
street,
yeah.
you can do all that shit. You can't do that in the casinos.
There's
over
really
here.
no vice that's off limits
Yeah.
in Las Vegas. I
which is-
think, I don't know if prostitution's legal there, but someone was saying that when you go out of Las Vegas, it is.
well, they advertise prostitution pretty.
Well,
Yeah, it's
escorts
like-
are
Escorts.
It's
everywhere.
accepted that is
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
But it's Sin City, right? People go there for that. I was talking to people out of Las Vegas, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can spot the tourists." So like we treat Las Vegas like everyone else kind of treats.
Well,
where
you
they're
can
from.
you can spot tourists. Even when we went to Kenya,
Yeah.
you can spot the tourists by where they're from. You see the Germans walking around in a. You can just. It looks like they're naked
You
from
can
the waist
tell.
down because they're wearing a T-shirt that just covers their speedo. You can tell the Americans because they went out before they came to Kenya
like
and they
safari
bought
gear?
the full safari gear,
Yeah, yeah.
binoculars.
Yeah.
They're just walking around the resort with like khaki shorts and the hat and the
and
binoculars.
Nick
Like,
was
where's
a
the
Canadian
animals?
wearing swim
Board
shorts
shorts
everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
You can see you,
You can
you
tell
like
where
look at
people
someone
are
and be
from.
like Canadian because you're wearing swim shorts to the safari, right? And yeah, of course.
Well, Nick, you've been all over Europe, right?
Yeah.
What's your experience there as a Canadian?
Everyone's really nice. Everyone loves Canadians.
Where have you been? Let's cover that. Let's cover the geographic areas that you've been to.
Do you want me to list it off?
Yeah, list off like half a dozen.
Okay, so the Netherlands, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Russia, Estonia, Germany, Slovenia, Austria, and Croatia, and
Okay.
Italy.
I said 6. You went to like 12. Okay,
Well,
let's talk Norway.
Norway.
What's your experience up in Norway?
Everyone's just really and all
And
this,
everyone there speaks English, right?
most of the people in all of Scandinavia speak English, and they're all really, really nice, like nicer than Canadians.
It's funny because when you go up to those types of countries, from everything I've heard from
The
people,
farther north you go,
they
the nicer
speak
people get.
very
because they're more
good English, and it's just like you go to people and it's like, sorry, I don't speak German or I don't speak Swedish or
Not
whatever.
in France, though. I've heard.
It's when you go to Eastern
Well, no,
Europe.
it's like, well,
where
we
you
learn
get
your
the-
language, but and we don't, and we fully expect that you don't learn our language.
Well, if the French are like, well, you're coming here, you better speak like French to me, or I'm not speaking to you.
I heard that's kind of
I
the
thought France
similar
was in
thing
Quebec.
In Quebec, I was just going to
Yeah,
say.
France.
if you
It's
speak to someone
Paris.
in English, they won't even respond to you, even if they know what you're saying.
And if you speak to them in
As
French, they're
I've
like,
heard.
I speak English.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
You know, in the UK, like England specifically, the people there, they're nice,
Yeah.
but just the way they speak, they come off as rude.
What do you mean?
So like,
Like just their
really-
tone?
no, when I was there, right? See, okay, if someone comes to Canada and they're looking for a place, so say we're about, a few blocks away from Cross Iron Mills, and a tourist asks you, hey, where's Cross Iron Mills? You just say, oh, it's actually just down the road over there.
Where were you in the UK? No, it's right fucking there.
So we went, and now we're looking to go see the Big Ben and the London Eye and stuff, and we took the subway. So we're underground, and all we knew was get off at Westminster Station. So we got off, and now we were like, okay, where do we go from here? We knew we had to get out, but I don't know if we had to take a cab to go see the Big Ben or what. So I go to one of the desks over there, and I'm like, hey, I was just wondering where the Big Ben is. I wanted to have a look at the Big Ben. And he's like, you're standing right under it. Right? That was his response, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, he didn't mean to be rude, but I think it's just the way they
But
speak.
do they talk that way to their own?
I think so.
No, because I'm just curious, because if you're talking to them, we can tell this dude does not have a British accent, he's not from here, and he's a tourist. So I'm annoyed by the fact, maybe he got it, that was like the 500th time he was asked that question.
Maybe, yeah. Especially if he's working.
But I don't know, but if
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
working like in a customer service type of situation, I fully expect you to, handle yourself a lot better than that.
Well, even here, everyone's expected to be super polite, and you still run into people that are just
Yeah, you're running
Exactly.
assholes over
They're like, where's the fuck off?
Yeah.
But they might be Americans, who knows?
Just visiting.
Unless you go up into
Because
Banff,
like if
then-
someone like pulls over, like it happened, I went to hockey and some old lady pulled over and like I freaking drove her home. Like she followed me. She's like, I don't know how to get back to Calgary.
Where was
'Cause,
she
you know,
from?
I have no idea. She was speaking English. She didn't have an accent or anything, but she might have been from like Saskatchewan or something.
Yeah.
But it was just going on Transcanada. She went off on the Banff Coach Road, off to that one of those roads beside.
What's your
That Trans
experience since you've worked in Banff, Nick? Dealing, because you go to Banff, it's like mini Australia.
Yeah.
Like in my like when I went up there for skiing, this was a couple of years ago, I found them to be like really, really nice. Like, oh,
They
yeah,
are
I
really-
can help you with that. Oh, I can totally help you with that.
They
Oh,
are,
yeah,
yeah.
right on, man. You
But
go
they're just
skiing, right on, yeah.
Partiers.
But I mean, they're extremely polite, and I don't know what it is with.
I think they're just happy to be here.
Is Banff like the epicenter of like people who come in from Australia? Like it's
There's
filled
so
with
many of
Aussies.
Yeah,
man.
they'll all take like a gap year and go work on the ski lift or whatever.
But it's funny that us Canadians go over there. That's like our.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
we get along, so why not?
No,
Like
it's
each
cool.
other.
I'm just wondering, like, what is it about? Like, I don't know. Are they up in Whistler too, or?
They're everywhere in the mountains. It's like you go on a stroll, you're gonna find like an Australian living in the forest with like a campfire.
They're the new Nordics,
Yeah.
just all up in the cold mountains.
they're like the new deer, just like walking through the forest. Oh my god, look, kids in Australia.
They're really chill people.
No,
I mean,
Australians are cool.
Yeah.
I have nothing against Australians.
Yeah,
They're cool
they're,
people,
they're
yeah.
pretty wicked people. I mean, like, it doesn't matter where you go. If you're on a ski lift, you're in a restaurant, like, regardless. However, I have heard that like Banff is like
STD central.
STD central for Alberta, or maybe Canada for that matter.
Maybe the world.
Let's not take it that
I
far.
don't know.
But yeah, anyways, yeah. I mean, I don't really know what those Aussies are doing up there.
Just working.
This is working. It's just
Going
it's working.
snowboarding for a year and skiing for a year.
No, they're pretty chill people. You guys want to touch on any more topics?
I have nothing
Don't wanna
particular
go too far
to
off
discuss
countries,
right
yeah.
now.
Well,
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for
Well,
another
there's one
episode
other.
of Sundown Podcast. If you want to hear your topic on the next podcast, email us at sundownpodcast@gmail.com or leave your comment with your topic in the comment section below on YouTube, and we'll get to it. Thanks for listening. Everyone say bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.